Stocks are getting hit again today. Oil's back to 95 a barrel. The VIX is up 10%. And I really do wish I could say I'm surprised, guys, but I'm not. SPY's dumping now to the bottom of this channel, which we called out the last couple of videos, right? We got hit here at about 685, clear rejection here at the top of the channel, and now we're back under 670. Looks like a falling knife, and it looks like we're going right down to the lows from a couple of days ago. I think that was that Monday or last Friday? Either way, it looks like SPY is going lower here, obviously. Same thing with the Qs. You guys can see, let me pull it up right here. We got hit at 600, and I told you guys, or actually no, more like 610, and I told you guys if we take out 600, the selling could accelerate, and here we go. Here we are, back under the moving averages. We're at 598. Looks like we're doing exactly that, down about 1.5%, as SPY's down 1.25. The Dow's down, let's see, about 1.4, as the Russell's down almost 2% right now. And let me show you oil. Oil is now at 95 a barrel, and we saw the technical setup in my videos yesterday, did we not? This is why you guys need to subscribe, hit that notification bell, hit that follow button. We were talking about this all yesterday, right? How oil was consolidating, and forget yesterday, the last couple of days, right? We were talking about how it was consolidating at 85, 88 a barrel, right? And the second, I said this, the second it takes 90 out, that's the breakout spot. And lo and behold, there we are. 90 broke. We then, pulled back, retested it a little bit, held 90, 91 as support, and now we're in the mid-90s. We broke out of it, pulled back, retested it. Now we're bouncing through, again, bouncing off of it. Very good sign for oil that, hey, this might be going towards $100 plus per barrel again, which I'm not surprised. Again, we called this out. And the cup and handle here, there is a cup and handle, which is definitely worth monitoring. I think if it takes out 96.7-ish, $100, boom, we'll go there fairly quickly. So before we dive too deep into other, just charts I'm looking at in general, stocks I'm watching, let me show you what's going on here overseas. I mean, nothing too crazy, or we're not going to dive too deep into it, right? But we can see here probably the reason why the price of oil is going up. We can see, obviously, things are escalating there. And I told you this, guys. I told you this. President Trump's going to say whatever it takes to bring the market up, keep it afloat. 2 days ago he said, we're super close to ending things, blah, blah, blah. The market ripped. And the reality is we're probably not as close as President Trump is saying. I'm not saying we're months away, but we're probably not days away or a week away like Mr. President Donald Trump made it seem or made it sound, right? And looking here, if I come down a little bit, we can see, you guys know they have Iran's got a new supreme leader, and he made his first public comments, right? And his first public comments, Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khomeini, whatever you want to call him, said the Strait of Hormuz should remain closed, right? According to reporting from Bloomberg. And that, that's all you need to hear to bring the market down. Their new supreme leader is saying it should remain closed. And that's all it takes, for more fear, uncertainty in the oil market to brew and equities to go down. That's it, really, and I'm sure there's other stuff here. Overall, the uncertainty rising in general. That's all you got to see. The longer the strait remains closed, or it's a bottleneck, as long as this remains, guys, upwards pressure to the price of oil, which is inflationary, obviously. And Goldman Sachs, it says here, raised their oil price targets for the third time as oil continues to surge. It says here, 24 hours after the IEA announced a 400 million barrel release from the Group of Seven Nations Strategic Petroleum Reserves, oil prices have surged into the mid-upper 90s, once again, right? And we can see, if we see their target, given the continued market disruption, Goldman Sachs' commodities desk raised its price targets Wednesday night for a third time since the war in Iran started. The bank now estimates fourth quarter prices on Brent and WTI at 76 and 72 a barrel, respectively, assuming a 30-day disruption, and prices at $93 and $89 a barrel under a 60-day disruption. Very interesting, guys. A day ago, Goldman predicted Brent and WTI prices of 71 a barrel and $67 a barrel, respectively, in the fourth quarter, right? And multiple tankers, we talked about this yesterday, and vessels were struck in and around the Strait of Hormuz around Wednesday and Thursday, bringing the vessel tally, or the tally, of vessels attacked since the start of the war to at least 16. So we covered that yesterday. That's escalating a bit. That's a bit worrisome there for the market, obviously. And again, the fact that their new supreme leader said what they said, oil's going up, staying up, and the longer this lasts, the longer we're seeing disruption, the higher prices could go, obviously. We've seen it here. That's what Goldman's saying. So gear up, guys. Buckle up. And I said this before. I'll say it again. It's not going to be over as quick as you think, right? Or as quick as President Trump is saying. At least in my opinion, right? At least in my opinion. I think it might be a little more drawn out. Not as easy as you think, not as simple. So that's why we're seeing the uncertainty, which I'm not surprised. The market dumping again, oil going up. It's not surprising. I was expecting this. A lot of us were, And that's why I was, raising some cash, earlier this week. I was saying this in my videos, and I didn't really buy much of anything this week stock-wise. I'm just sitting on some cash. I was about to buy SQQQ yesterday. I was about to. You know how risky those leverage 3x ETFs are, but I didn't. And looking back, I probably should have. At $70 a share, I was looking at it. Now it's at 73. But whatever. What is that? 4%, 5%, whatever. Sitting on cash obviously isn't just as good as making money on a nice 4 or 5% move in a bearish leveraged ETF overnight, but it's definitely safer than holding this overnight, because easily we could have gone the other direction as well. But, at this point, I'm watching SQQQ in general for a trade. If the Qs slip further, this goes up when the Qs go down. And what's the other one that I used to trade a lot? It's been a while. SPXS. It's a 3x bear S&P 500 ETF. This one, again, goes up when the S&P goes down. So I'm keeping my eyes on SPXS right now. And again, SQQQ. And for other stocks, XNET, which is my one of my speculative names, they reported earnings this morning. This is a Chinese company. They're a $400 million company now with the pop in the stock, 8% up today, and they own 7.8%. They have a 7.8% stake in Arashi Vision, which is valued at about that stake about $1 billion right now. So this company, guys, again, they're worth $400 million. The market cap is worth less than half of what their stake in one of the hottest IPOs in China is, Arashi Vision. And on top of that, their actual business, guys, forget about their stake in Arashi Vision. That's gravy at this point. Their actual business is strong, right? I think they reported revenue growth of 70%. We're not going to dive too deep into the actual report, but look at this. EPS came in at adjusted EPS 8 cents versus 18 cents from last year, but I'm not looking at the EPS, guys. I'm looking at the rev growth, right? Sales came in at $142.5 million, up from $83 million last year. That's about 70% growth year over year. Again, their stake in Arashi Vision, very impressive there. And for me, this stock, I've been in it for, I think, like 3 months, a couple months now. I am down. I'm in at about 7 a share, roughly. But I think this stock has a lot more potential. I'm holding on tight. I'm not, this is not one of those where I'm looking to sell out in the strength here. I'm looking to actually even add more or just hold on. Right? That's what I'm doing, actually. I'm just holding on tight. I think ultimately this could be a lot higher in price. I don't know where it's going to go in price, obviously. It's a speculative Chinese name after all, but I genuinely think we're going to be well over this price right here, $11 a share. I think we at least test that. But again, I think we go over that over the next 6-12 months. And that's what I was saying when I first bought the stock. I think the thesis is there. We just have to wait for it to actually play out. And now with earnings that just came out, there's a lot going on with GoPro and, Arashi Vision there, Insta360 or whatever it's called. There was a big win for, Arashi Vision there. We're not going to get too deep into that in this video, but that could spark an even bigger run in the stock here over the coming weeks, months. It's a patience game with this one. I think it's not going to happen overnight, but over the next couple of weeks, I think XNET, months, of course, as well, could do quite well. So I'm in it. It's a speculative name. They reported great numbers, up 8%, now 8.5% on a day like today. It's beautiful, man. So these are the kinds of stocks, not always, obviously, the riskier ones, but they kind of have minds of their own sometimes. They can go up and kind of keep your portfolio afloat when stocks in general, the mega caps, the bigger names that influence or that fluctuate with the market, when those are down, sometimes these smaller names that are kind of detached from the market, they can kind of help you out, keep your portfolio afloat. And this was over $7 in the pre-market, guys. Now we're down to $6.55. Looks like it's kind of gearing up for that next leg up towards $7. Maybe through, above $7. So I like the chart here. I like the fundamentals. It's very undervalued. And look at the 3-year chart. If you look at the 4-hour, you might get caught up and be like, oh, it doesn't look so great. But the 3-year chart, in my opinion, looks amazing. The 1-year chart, too. You guys are seeing it pretty clear right now what's going on here chart-wise, right? We tried falling through 550, but clearly it did not do that. We got buyers to come in at about 550. Now we're pushing $7, and that's critical because we put in a higher low there, and we held above the previous highs as support. So a couple quarters ago, we were at about $5, then we ripped after earnings. So the fact that we held that as support, bounced off of it. Now we're up 8.5% in the face of this red day. I like that. The chart looks good. And for me, this is a hold. This chart is screaming hold because I think we're going, like I said, 8, 10, higher than that per share. So XNET, I like it. I'm in it. Excited about the earnings. Still waiting for the overall breakout. I think we're getting it. We're going to get it soon here. And I think the real breakout comes above $7.50, $8. If we start getting momentum out of there, blue skies ahead. Watch out. So yeah, little XNET excerpt there for this video, guys. I appreciate you all for tuning in here. And it's rough, man. It's a rough day. Big techs getting hit. Stocks across the board are getting hit. Mercado Libre is one that I'm in. And it's down 7% today. So it's not sunshine and rainbows, right? Other than XNET, it's looking pretty rough, right? And that's why it's good to have some different stocks in your portfolio that are not correlated, so you can see, okay, maybe some green while other ones are down. And I think Mercado Libre, on a side note, they got downgraded by JPM. Isn't that BS? I'm pretty sure JPM just upgraded them literally not too long ago, and now they just slashed the target to $2,100. So there's some wonkiness going on with Mercado Libre right now. But I'm buying the dip. I'm holding on for the long term. I think it's an opportunity. So it's one of those days. It's one of those days, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Join the Patreon if you want to keep up with my portfolio updates, my private Patreon, or Discord. All of that's through Patreon. Link down below, pinned in the comments as well, or go to stocks-surfest.com/Patreon. And with that being said, guys, cheers. Take a sip of your coffee. I'll see you all in the next video.